Which one is the one that's like in your videos all the time?
Otter. He
Otter.
is Mr. Personality. Bear is a more sensitive soul. He has anxiety. He has all the issues.
Oh
He's
my
he's
gosh.
usually in the background.
So excited. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you. I'm so nervous. I'm shaking in my boots over here, but it'll be good.
It's gonna be great. Is this your first time doing an interview?
Oh, oh gosh, yes.
Welcome back to the show. We're so glad you're here. If you're new to the Ink and Insight podcast, this is where we talk about the power of books, character arcs, and the emotions we just can't move past, and the power of a good book and better conversation. I'm Audrey, and I'm here with my co-host, Joe, and today we're thrilled to be joined by a truly inspiring guest, author Katherine Elle. Katherine is known for her fun and spicy hockey romance, Faded Shot, which is book 1 in the Toronto Tundra Series, and then her newest release, and book 2 in that series, has just come out, called No Shot. In this episode, we'll explore her creative process, what inspires her, and how she brings authenticity into everything she writes. So whether you're a writer, a reader, or just curious about the story behind the story, this one's for you.
Tell us a little bit about your background and why you wanted to become a writer.
Yeah, absolutely. So I never studied writing or English or literature in university. I'm an economics gal, a math nerd, if you will. I've always been drawn to numbers more so than letters. But I was very into my career, and a lot of my days were just working, sleeping, and I was kind of looking for a different creative outlet. And I had a dream about a scene, which is in my first book, Faded Shot. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is the most incredible thing. I need to find a book where this happens. And I didn't see a book where that happened. So I thought, okay. I kind of kept thinking about that one scene, and it was my husband and I's 2-year wedding anniversary, and we had a 2-hour drive to downtown Toronto. And in that time, I started to think about more and more scenes that would accompany that original scene that I dreamed about. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is really coming together. And he was such a trooper. He just stayed quiet on our anniversary drive. And yeah, the next day I thought, you know what? How cool would it be if I wrote a book? So I thought, you know what? I am very type A. If I plan it and I put my mind to it, I can do it. So then I sat down, and the next day I just wrote for like 8 hours, built out every single chapter in my timeline kind of plan, and just started writing. And that was kind of my writer origin story. So it started with a dream, and then an even bigger dream of publishing, basically.
I love that. So are you a
Yeah.
big planner, or is it more of like inspo as you go?
No, I'm 100% a planner. I now refuse to let myself start writing until I've planned out every chapter, sort of the character arcs. It all needs to be on my very detailed outline before it goes into the story, for sure.
So do you typically are drawn to like reading romance since you wrote a romance? Is that something you were like reading at the time?
Definitely, yeah. So I started my hockey romance era only in January of 2024. Sort of picked up Icebreaker. It's a gateway book. Fell in love, and then I just started just reading so many romance books, and I've always sort of been drawn to romance books. I love, so that's not too much of a stretch for me. I just love books like that. And then, yeah, I really enjoyed the more fluffier books. I think it gets a lot of hate, but I love an easy, quick read. That is my sweet spot. So yeah, I really enjoy reading those types of books. So then I wanted to write those types of books.
Well, you definitely achieved that.
Yeah.
We were
Thank
talking
you.
about that last time. We were like, it's just so cozy to read.
That's what
Because I read the
I
arc
love a
for
good
No
cozy
Shot.
read.
Yeah, and they're both just so cozy.
I feel like that's kind of having a resurgence in general, you know? Like I feel like you're right, it did kind of get like a bad rep for a while, but recently like some of the best reads have been the sort of like sweet, fluffy, like you know it's gonna have a nice happy ending or as close to a happy ending as you can get in the situation. So
For
I think
sure.
that's cute.
I love a good palate cleanser. That's what I hope I am.
Exactly. Yes,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah, we're drawn to Hallmark movies for that reason too, because we like know what's gonna
Yes.
happen and we're excited about it.
Give me
Here's
a
our
Hallmark movie with a little bit of spice, and I am there
Yeah.
for it.
yes.
Yeah. It's got that blueprint. You like are comfortable with it. Yeah, I love that style. Let's talk a little bit more about writing both faded shot and no shot. What does your creative process kind of look like? Do you have any sort of daily rituals or anything that you are drawing inspiration from as you're writing?
I think it mostly stems from me daydreaming, which is the bane of my existence. I have an overactive imagination, so I sometimes get caught up in it. But I think it always starts with daydreaming. I always imagine scenes and then I incorporate them into my very, very detailed outline. So I think the creative process definitely always starts with my outline, and it could be something like 20,000 words. It's very, very detailed, a lot of just way too many details, and a lot of scenes that I dream up that I don't ever include in the book goes on that outline. And from there, I get sort of systematic. For my first book, because I was fearful that I wouldn't actually publish or that I couldn't do it, I really just committed myself to sitting down 2 hours every day. I'd close my work laptop, open my play laptop, sit down, and just write. My process was always sort of write now, fix later. So I stick to my outline for sure, and then I always try and set aside time. I'm not really a mood writer. I need to be very structured to say, okay, I'm going to write for an hour tonight. So I just find the time. I'll give myself a little flexibility before dinner, after dinner, depending on how I'm feeling, but still fairly scheduled.
So then what kind of made you decide in the end that you wanted to pursue publishing it?
Just to prove to myself that I could do it. I think I'm a worrier at heart. And I don't consider myself to be terribly courageous, but I wanted to take a chance on myself. I thought it was, what a fun thing to do, what a fun thing to say that you've accomplished. So I just wanted to push myself, and I was too shy to tell any of my friends or family that I wrote a book. And then I published it, and then I told them, hey, you know what, I wrote a book. And they said, oh my goodness, that's incredible. What's it called? And I said, you'll never know. So I really just did it for me. I just wanted to prove to myself that I could do it, and I'm really glad I did.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
And you've said on your social platforms before that your husband's never read it. Is that still the case?
Oh my gosh, absolutely not. I'm so shy. I could never imagine. I don't even think I could. I just can't imagine. No, he's not allowed to read it. I let him read the dedication of Faded Shot, and he's seen the covers because they're everywhere around the house, but he's promised me he's never picked it up, and he's a very trustworthy man, so I believe him.
That's good.
Yeah. Has Aaron read any of your books?
Yeah, Aaron read the first one.
You read the first one?
He doesn't want to be triggered by the second one because it's like our college experience.
Yeah.
Not about me.
No ties.
So is there any days that are like tougher to sit down and write, or is it pretty much like because you have your outline, you know what you want to do, and you can kind of sit down and do it?
Yeah, I would definitely say there's tougher writing days, especially for No Shot. I felt like the writing process was faster. I definitely knew the story a lot more than I did the first story. I knew the process, so I thought it would be faster, but I had a lot more writer's block. It might have been because I was in the first trimester. My brain was a little out there, but there were tough days where it was hard to sort of power through. But I think if some days where I'm lacking the creativity, I just, go easier on myself. If I can only do 30 minutes, that's fine. If it's just a reread, that's fine. I like to give myself a little bit of grace there, but I still try and spend time to dedicate towards the book, basically. Yeah.
That's really great advice.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to do that more.
So how do you keep it from feeling a bit like a second job almost, Like is it focusing on the fact that you enjoy writing, or how do you kind of make sure that the process isn't becoming too exhausting?
Yeah, I think this was it's a muscle that I'm constantly working on because it's in my nature to make everything a chore. I think that's just the way my brain works. For book one, I was so dedicated to publishing it that it definitely became work. I would close out, open up, and it felt like work. The weekends I was dedicating 8 hours to writing, things like that, and it took all the fun out of it for my first book. So I think going into my second book, I was really conscious about that and thinking, let's go back to what I loved about this. I had this beautiful dream that gave me the tummy tickles, and I want to duplicate that. And I don't want to ruin all of the fun in that process. So I was just a little bit more mindful this time around, setting more realistic expectations of myself of, okay, if today I'm not feeling like an hour of writing, that's fine. Let's pivot. Maybe we turn to inspo. I try and keep it book centered, but this time around I was a lot more focused to not enter into that book funnel where there's nothing existed outside of life. For book one, it would be something like my husband and I would want to go for dinner, and at dinner I'd be like, okay, let's get the bill, I gotta write. And that's not a good way to live.
No, not at all.
So there was a lot more balance this time around, and I had a lot more fun with it, and I think that's why it flowed a lot easier.
We have actually a question from one of our Patreon subscribers. Do any real life experiences shape the relationships you write about?
Thankfully not for book one. There's a character in book one who's the bane of my existence, and thankfully I've never met him. I think we'll just leave it at that. So book one, less so, although I did witness an NHL coach's daughter fall for one of the players. I witnessed that. I wasn't directly in that, but I saw that happen, and I thought, that's very interesting, and I loved the coach's daughter type sort of trope. So that kind of inspired the first book, but I would say book two is a lot more my husband and I coded. I definitely see myself in Bree. My husband is definitely Penn, and a lot of the scenes were just things that happened in our relationship, so that was a lot more fun. But I do like to keep it a little bit separate, yeah.
Yeah. It's healthy that way.
I think so.
There too, yeah. It's like one of those things where sometimes I feel like when you're writing relationships that you've lived specifically, there's like a bias that you don't almost see in it, right? And it's like you kind of have to take a step back.
For sure. Yeah, I like creating fictional characters rather than transporting real characters into my books, basically.
Right.
Or real people, not characters. Sorry, real people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say that I am a fan of both books, but I really liked No Shot because I felt like Penn was I don't want to say a better representation, but a real representation of a well-rounded male. He had his faults, and he definitely needed Brie to help him, learn how to cook and stuff, but I think that's very realistic in some senses.
For sure.
And
Okay, so what sort of themes do you see yourself like returning to again and again as you're writing?
Yeah, so I think we sort of touched on this a little bit earlier. I like sort of the general fluffy vibe. So I like a book where you leave it feeling really good. So I've always been drawn to that. So I don't like to create too much chaos in the books. I might tease some deeper themes, but I don't want it to fully overrun the book. So I like to keep it light and easygoing. But I think there are some mental health themes that I just naturally sprinkle in. Right what you know. So I definitely have a lot of anxiety. I struggle from panic attacks. So there's a little bit sprinkled into both books. So I like putting that into my characters because it makes them feel a bit more real, a bit more authentic to me as an author, just writing my own experiences a little bit sprinkled in there. So yeah, those would be two main things. And then obviously just always sticking true to the romance. I'm a true romantic at heart, so I love love, and I always want that included in there.
Yeah. I think that's something that we've talked about a lot is like appropriately handling mental health conversations in books. And I think that's one of the things I admire the most about sort of cozy writing and your writing in specific is that it never feels like it's capitalizing on mental health issues. It's like very much respectful of how your characters feel in that moment. And I think some people can struggle when they're writing to not almost fall into like stereotypes and tropes of different mental health issues, you know? Like, so I don't know, that was, but just something about your writing is very like nice and respectful of that.
I think because you have two female characters that are very, I don't want to say business forward, but I mean, in your first book, she runs her own business, and then we have Mia, who's getting her master's program, and she's sorry, I just messed them up. We have Mia, who owns her own business.
Good. Mia, yeah, and then Bree.
And then Bree, who's getting her master's. And I think like both of those things, like if they didn't come with some sort of mental, I don't want to say anxiety, mental illness, but like if they weren't feeling those things, I would feel like those characters were less relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a real life aspect. It's something that you kind of anticipate. Obviously, you don't expect someone to like come out and be like, I have general anxiety disorder, like right off the jump. But like seeing aspects of that in the way that they interact with people. And
For sure.
I think like one of the things that draws me to books has always been very character driven books. Like I don't always need a plot if the characters are people that I can get behind. But I feel like there's sometimes in those character driven books where it's like I don't know, they just don't represent certain aspects of things as well. So I definitely think like it's always testy when you start incorporating mental health, and since people experience it in so many different ways, it can be like a risky line to walk. But I do think it's a good thing that we're starting to see more representation in forms of media like books and things like that.
So getting more into your publishing journey specifically, when did you kind of know, like probably more so for book one, that it wasn't so much a hobby anymore, that you were actually going to take the step and publish?
So I knew from the beginning I was going to publish. Because I had just set my mind to it, and I'm just that wild and delusional. So I would say, within that first month of deciding, okay, I'm going to start writing, I just made it a goal. You know what? I will publish this. But when it became a little bit more real was after I published it, because I had so many nerves putting this out there. It's so vulnerable, I find, just putting your work out there, something that you've dedicated so much time to, and willingly putting it out to accept judgment. That's what we're doing. We want to find readers who enjoy it, who can't stand it, and you're going to get both. So that was very nerve-wracking, but there was a little nagging voice in my head, sort of in the background, where I thought, okay, you're going to put this out. One, no one's going to read it. And two, people are going to hate it and think it's garbage. And I had one ARC reader who I didn't bring. So they didn't come from my TikTok or my Instagram. It was just a Book Sirens reader who read my book. And they sent me an email. And it was my first author email. And they said, I cannot believe I couldn't find any other books by you. And I was like, oh my goodness, me? Are you sure? And I double checked that they emailed the right person. And they did. And it was just so special. And I thought, oh my goodness, maybe I can write another book. And it just sort of started from that point, really, where I thought, oh, maybe I have something here. It's not going to be for everyone, for sure. I don't claim to be this incredible visionary of an author. But yeah, it's just something that I really enjoyed doing. And that was when I thought to myself, you know what, I'm just going to keep doing this. I like it. Some people like it. And that's good enough for me.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that.
We're glad you kept going.
Yeah,
Thank
it was
you.
a good thing. So do you have any sort of like advice or tips you would give to someone who's interested in publishing for the first time and maybe publishing on their own?
Yeah, so I would say two things. The first one is, we hear it all the time, just do it. I think there's a narrative of, anyone can be an author these days, and it has a negative connotation. But anytime I read that, I'm thinking anyone can be an author. It's so incredible, and what a privilege that if you have a story that you want to get out there, you can write it and you can put it out there yourself. So always just do it. If you've always dreamt of being an author, take some time for yourself, believe in yourself, be brave. It takes a lot of courage, but it's always going to be worth it, because how incredible if you've officially written a book, one, and then publish it traditionally or self-published. But the other side of that is definitely reach out to others. My sort of indie community author experience has been very positive. I've had a lot of friends reach out to me and ask me questions about my self-publishing journey, and I'm the first to jump in and say, oh my gosh, I made all of these mistakes and here's what worked for me and what hasn't. So I would say reach out to other people who have self-published, because I would assume more often than not they're very willing to help. My experience has been that this has been a very uplifting community, and we're always willing to jump in and support each other. So that would sort of be my advice. Google is always the best friend too. I remember I had no clue what beta readers were or anything like that when I first started, but you find your way along the way, and I'm definitely one where I'm always willing to share my knowledge, so I'm sure others would be too. And I wish I had a wonderful resource to just reach out to early in my self-publishing journey, but you live and you learn, and I'm here for others now.
Oh, that's very sweet.
I know, that's so nice. I mean, we kind of know the answer because it's how we found you, but if you want to tell the people who are listening who might not be familiar with your like online presence, how do you stay connected with your readers?
Yeah, for sure. So I started my TikTok account. It's Katherine Elle Author. I started it before I had finished writing my book, and I'm very grateful that I did, actually. I think a lot of indie authors might start after their book is written or about to be published. I'm glad I started it a little bit earlier, just a few months in advance. So I post silly content there, which is hopefully likable. And hopefully people don't mind watching me be just a goofy lunatic over there. But I think that's a great way to just find new readers and open conversations. I get a lot of messages on Instagram and TikTok from people who are either reading my books or asking questions, and I absolutely love just chatting with everyone. So that's been a great resource to connect with readers, and just post a little bit of background of what I'm going through, what it's like being an indie author, all of that fun stuff.
Yeah. So you said you're a big planner. Do you stick to like a content creation calendar or something, or is it just kind of off the cuff?
What a great question.
Tell us your secrets.
We're interested.
Okay. The secrets is I sit down in front of my camera at 8 a.m. every day. My husband brings me a little coffee. We'll see what the trending sounds are. And I film maybe, between 5 to 15 videos. And I would say 2 of them maybe in a day see the light of day. The rest are die miserably in my drafts. So I would say this is where I'm not a great planner, other than putting it into my schedule to try and film every day when I can. There's some days where I'll film and none of the videos make the cut, and then I'll just use one from my drafts. It's an art form, my goodness, and not a science. I wish it was a science. I would study the heck out of that, but I can't. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm doing over there, but it's some crazy stuff.
That's the stuff that seems to work, though. Like, I think
Thank you.
It's funny just kind of trying to figure out what's going to be the thing that sticks, right? Like, sometimes nothing sticks, but yeah.
I know. It's been so hard. Yeah. Do you guys think of content in advance?
We do a little bit of both.
Okay.
I would say, like, for my personal accounts, I pretty much, as soon as I see something's trending, I try and like make something equivalent to that almost off the bat.
Yeah.
I don't record and store drafts a lot. For the podcast, we've been trying to be a bit more proactive in content that we're making. But I think kind of as that continues on and takes off, it will also come a bit more off the cuff. But I think you're kind of opposite of that.
Yeah, I mean, I've hit a little bit of burnt out the past few months, but I used to just, like you said, find the trending sounds and then save a bunch of them and try to pre-record, and then kind of go in and edit them later. And sometimes, depending on the sound, they do super well. And other times they don't. But yeah, I don't know what the algorithm or wants.
I have a theory. I have a theory
I would
that I've been
love to
trying.
hear your theory.
So this is what I think is going on. When I was living in Glasgow, my videos were getting so many more views than when I've been living in the States. And so my new theory is that it has something to do with the location that you're posting in as well. So I've like turned
Okay.
on a VPN to post sometimes so that it looks like I'm posting outside of the country. And those videos are getting more views than the videos that I'm posting in the States. So I don't know. We're going to test it out and see if that's a real
Yeah.
theory. But it's also, I think I'm slowly becoming a conspiracy theorist when it comes to like TikTok and
You know
stuff
what? You
like
need
that.
to do what you need to do. And all this is telling me is it's time to go on vacation
Yeah, there you go.
and post a bunch of beach content. So catch
Exactly.
me there with my baby in a few months.
Yes.
Oh, exactly. You've earned it after, like, it's been such a busy, busy year for you. Just insane.
Yes. It's been a little wild, but it's fun.
All good things, though,
Yes.
hopefully.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, so this is a question from our Instagram followers. What has been the hardest part of being an indie romance author?
Um, there's a lot of hard parts. I think standing out is a big one. There's new books being published every day, which is great if you love reading books. It's hard to stand out, I would say. So that's been difficult. I also deal with a lot of, which so many people say this all the time, but imposter syndrome is so real. I started this journey very recently, this writing journey very recently. So it's only been, less than a year since I published my first book, and just a little over a year since I started writing my first book. So I feel inferior in a lot of ways to some of these other beautiful authors who have wanted to write their entire lives and have thought of these stories since childhood. And I think that's so beautiful, and I'm so envious of that. So sometimes I feel like I can't hang.
Yeah.
So that's something that I definitely need to overcome a little bit. And the other side of that, to stand out, obviously you need to find new methods to do that. So I mostly do that on TikTok. But you'll get a lot of judgment, right? I post silly little videos, not to be taken too seriously, but yeah, it's not everyone's cup of tea. So it's hard to find the balance of, being a little bit of my goofy self and showing my personality, but I'm also quite reserved in real life and quite shy. So it's a very vulnerable space for me to be in. And it's difficult to do that, I would say, especially for me and my personality. And then to get some judgment from it sometimes it is hard, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say that surprised you, or was there like other elements that you were kind of more shocked by once you got going?
I think what shocked me is just I kind of thought of writing as kind of a passive hobby. Obviously, it's active when you write, but after you publish it, I thought it was a little bit more hands-off, but it's the polar opposite. I was chilling when I was writing. It was very fun. It takes a lot of dedication, the social media side of things, and I was not expecting it. It's great most days, but I think burnout is so real, and just spending so much time on my phone, it cannot be healthy for my well-being.
Right.
But it's a bit of a necessary evil. So yeah, the social side of it really surprised me. But that's really I would say 99.8% of my readers come from either my TikTok or my Instagram. So that's the way to get the word out there. Yeah, so a necessary evil for sure.
Okay, let's jump into some like rapid fire, just quick questions. What's your favorite book that you've read recently?
I've been a terrible reader. I've just been so exhausted. I'm going to be very honest. I haven't read a lot of books recently.
That's totally fair.
I have so many on my TBR. My Kindle is chock full. Both of you, I can't wait to read it. I'm just waiting for mat leave. I cannot wait. But I would say, sticking with the hockey romance theme, early in the new year, I read No Promises, No Lies, A.J. Wilding. So great. Love the balance of hockey romance. I'm not a dark romance girly, but I feel like it was a good little tiptoe into that darker realm, and it was just the right amount of sweet and dark and spicy. I liked it.
I have to check that one out. I think I've heard of that one, so I'll have to add that to the
It's really good.
list.
It surprised me how much I enjoyed it. It's a bit of a mafia hockey romance, which is I had never sort of seen that together, but apparently that's a very poppin' subgenre. So I was excited to be jumping into that, and maybe I'll read another one.
All right. What are 3 books that you think everyone should read?
Oh gosh. Okay, Twilight.
Yeah.
Always.
Great answer.
We ride at dawn for Twilight. I would say Icebreaker. I think that is the gateway hockey romance and spicy romance. And then I would say Stand and Defend by Sloane St. James. Also hockey romance. Very spicy. Delicious.
You love that. All right. Your writing snack or drink of choice?
It was coffee and an IV, like Lorelai Gilmore. But since the pregnancy, just one modest cup of coffee in the morning, and I just have to get all my writing done right then and there. But always coffee.
Do you have any dream literary dinner guests?
Well, if I was over there, it would be lovely to have dinner with both of you. Just a quick jump across the border.
Yeah, one day.
One day. But I would say, Sloane St. James would be a very interesting dinner guest. I'm in the realm of spicy romance books, essentially, and her ability to create such different spicy scenes is such a skill in and of itself, and I need to learn her ways. I find it so fascinating. I don't know if I'm just so boring, so vanilla, but I need a little bit of that flavor. And I think it would just be so fascinating. She's incredibly creative, and it works so well. Yeah.
I loved the spice in No Shot. I would just like
Really?
everyone to know.
Okay, good.
I thought it was very good. I thought it was realistic to their relationship as well.
Thank you. Okay.
You really caught me off guard on like the first chapter. I was like, okay, we're getting into it. I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but
I needed to
starts early.
entice. I needed to entice.
I
but
was
definitely
strapped in.
Good. I definitely don't try and write spice just to write spice. I like when it's very woven into the plot, basically. Yeah. So I'm glad it felt realistic. Good.
What is one thing readers would be surprised to learn about you?
It's hard because I don't really know how readers perceive me.
Yeah.
I have a hard time understanding. I think it could just be that I'm really terribly shy. We always joke that I'm the most extroverted introvert there is, where if I feel comfortable, I can be sort of goofy and talkative, but I have a very low social battery. I love my quiet time. And yeah, I'm just quite shy in my real life, I would say. Yeah.
And then one last question from a subscriber. Is there an author who inspires you and influenced your writing style?
I wouldn't say there was just one, but I love Becca Mack. This is all hockey romance. Sorry, I'm very hockey romance oriented. And Becca Mack, she started, I believe, self-publishing. And I think that's what really inspired me. I loved that she had these really creative stories, and I don't believe she traditionally published till much later on. And I loved that. Mm-hmm. And that kind of inspired me in the beginning. So I really liked that. And then Hannah Grace, obviously, Icebreaker, Wildfire, Daydream, mediocre, might be a hot take. But I really liked that she just it sounded like she wrote in her own voice. And I hadn't always read that. And it kind of gave me motivation to just write a little bit more authentically to myself. A little bit of my humor I try and put into my books, and I hope that comes across. And I kind of found that motivation there because it sounded like she was just kind of telling a story to us. And I actually liked that. So it sort of inspired me to put more of my own authentic voice in my books, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Well, I think the big question is, you have a lot coming up soon, but what's next?
What's next? Okay, so No Shot is coming out August 5th. And then while I'm on that leave, I will be writing book 3. Yes, I'm very excited. I had a plan for who book 3, I've planned out all my books, but I decided that the next character might be a little bit of a surprise. But I had to pull him forward because I didn't want to write young characters anymore, so I need one character to cook. So we're going to leave him to cook, and we're going to start with someone else.
Perfect.
So I'm excited for that. Yeah.
Are there any events or collaborations we should be looking out for you for? And where can our listeners connect with you online?
Yeah, so no planned collaborations or events or anything like that. I'm still trying to toe the line of I operate under a pen name, but I obviously show my face in my videos. But I don't think I'm brave enough to face the wild or attend any events or anything like that quite yet. Maybe one day. So nothing too crazy coming up other than just a lot of writing and hopefully publishing book 3 early 2026. But where can readers find me? I'm Katherine Elle Author on Instagram and TikTok. I'm much better at TikTok. I'm terrible at Instagram. Just going to put that out there.
I relate.
I don't know why it's so dang challenging. I feel like a boomer over here. I can't figure it out. It's just the tech is too advanced for me. But I appreciate TikTok, and yeah, you can definitely find me there.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We've really appreciated getting the chance to chat with you. It's always a good time.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored. This is my first podcast. Wouldn't have done it with anyone else other than you beautiful ladies. I'm so grateful for you having me on.
Yeah, we're the honored ones, honestly.
Yeah, truly.
I have been your fan since you basically released No Shot, so.
Oh my gosh, I'm your fan.
I think I slid into your DMs, like right after I read
Is that
No
how
Shot
it started?
I actually,
my gosh,
I think.
Or Faded Shot.
Oh yeah, Faded Shot, sorry. I was like, I want to say I was low-key kind of creepy. I was like, I need an arc. And I was like, I don't think she's accepting any more arcs. And I think I messaged you and applied and was like, give me the arc.
Was that her origin story?
I think I was creepy.
Gosh.
I remember being in Palm Springs and I was like, we were connecting through TikTok because I had seen your stuff and we had become mutuals, and I was like, I need to read this book like right now. And I read it in one sitting when we were driving. And then I messaged you immediately after and I was like, when is book 2 coming? This one's not even released, but
reading in the car. Reading in the car is such a flex, first off. Second, no creepiness at all, but I can't believe that's our origin story because I loved your videos too.
That's so funny. I do think you were being creepy. I have a vague memory of you talking about it too, and I was like, oh, okay, very cool.
Yeah, and I think I'm like determined to be your number 1 fan.
Well,
when I know to read
so
it.
Much.
I post about it all the time. I keep it right behind me when I am like working. I lost it at one point. I was talking about Faded Shot on the live, and people were like, oh, can we see the cover? Can we see the cover? And I was like, I don't know where it is. I can't find it. And it was literally right behind me.
I don't know if you can see it from where you're at, but we have a little, it's on a stand for us.
Oh, I like it. Okay, I can't see it, but maybe in the zoom out.
Yeah, when the proper podcast is up, you'll be able to see it on the video, hopefully.
You need to teach me your live ways. I'm so terrible on live. I think I've gone live 3 times, and the last time everything went rogue, and I ended up on a bad side of TikTok, and I had like 300 male followers, and I had to like mass unfollow these people. And it was so terrible. I feel like you're so good, but you're very good at like your moderators, obviously. But I feel like you're you're able to just keep the conversation flowing, and it's just a skill that I do not possess, but I very much appreciate in your lives.
Oh, thank you. Sometimes we talk
very
about this all the
cool.
time. We feel like we just yap about everything and anything, and it's kind of hard because you're not really having a back and forth unless you're reading the comments. And so it's like,
For sure.
I don't know, you have to have a community that really is there for you and try and ask questions, because it can be so hard when no one's interacting. And I mean, I've stopped doing it for a while because it's just like, it can be so draining.
For sure. Oh my goodness.
Can't keep up with that.
I know, and you used to do hours. Wild.
She was on all the time.
I
It was
know, it was so impressive.
like a full-time job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I feel like when it was with me and like one other person, like I had you pop on one time and we were able to go back and forth for a while and people were really interested. And then when I did it with Ariel that one time, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just obnoxious.
No, I think
No,
it's
you're
better.
not.
Like, I think
You're
that-
not. I really enjoyed them. I would, because you would normally pop on early and I'd still be working, and so I'd just have you and working on my laptop, and it was just like listen in every now and then. You have such a skill. You're just a natural chatter. It's amazing.
I have PR trained.
Or I don't know that you are actually.
No, I would not do well on a reality TV show. I would get canceled for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And with a quickness.
Such a great run.
I'm just being honest.
If you guys are listening and not watching our chaos, make sure you go check out Catherine's work and her Instagram, her TikToks. They're very fun to watch. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Catherine, for being here. Like I said, I'm your number one fan, so
Well,
I'm
I'm
so
chasing
excited.
in second place, apparently. I'm not gonna try and knock her off her
grateful
pedestal.
to both of you. Thank you for having me. Thanks for chatting with me. Sorry for my rambling.
No, we love
No.
it. Truly.
Yeah.
Truly. It was really like, I'm very excited that you're going to be our first interview. I mean, technically Daisy was our first interview, but our first human interview.
You know what? I'm very happy to come in second. I think that's the natural order of things.
she's just chilling back here. I don't know if you can see
I
her.
love it.